The first speaker that I am bringing to you tonight, he is an integral member of the team that is going to help rescue Barbados from the Democratic Labour Party. He is a long-serving member of Parliament for St. George North, having represented the people of that area for 24 years. He is a former Minister of Transport and Works and Housing and Lands. So, opening now for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to welcome Mr. Gline Clarke.
Good night. Good night to the people of Weston. Good night to the people of St. James North. I'm here tonight to support my colleague and friend, Edmund. Edmund Hickson has been my colleague for a long, long time now. We have known each other for a number of years, and he has always been kind, generous, has always been a man to his word. Edmund Hickson has moved from not only supporting the Barbados Labour Party years ago, but has come to be your parliamentary representative in the last period in Parliament, 2013-2018. And during that period of time, I can say that Edmund Hickson has matured as a parliamentarian, asked questions, and he's a tower of strength. He is no little boy in Parliament. He debates the issues and he keeps the government on its toes. As a member of Parliament and opposition benches is not easy, but over the last 5 years or so, Edmund has made me feel very proud of him. And I'm sure the people of St. James South, St. James North, that you are also proud of your parliamentary representative who has done tremendous work on your behalf, asking questions both on the physical development of St. James North as well as other aspects of development within this constituency. And of course, he's a very passionate person when it comes to disability. He is passionate about the work that this organization does, and he asks many questions on their behalf. So I'm happy tonight to associate myself with a man who knows where he's going and who has worked hard on your behalf. And therefore I come tonight to recommend him for you and ask you, come May the 24th next week, that you come out in your numbers and vote for Edmund Hickson, because he is the only choice in this election. You're going to find that there's several others on the ballot box, but there are basically nuisances. They're just here to tease you. They're not serious. And we do not want to take them serious because they're not serious at all, especially the other candidates. As far as the DLP candidate is concerned, I also know him, but I believe it is time for him to go home and rest. Send him packing, let him go home and retire, because he has not asked a single question on your behalf over the past 5 years. He has been a parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Education, but you have not seen anything new in this constituency. You have not seen any physical structure. He has not asked any question on your behalf. He has not done anything, and therefore we cannot take him seriously tonight. So the Democratic Labour Party has finally called the election for May the 24th, and you are supposed to vote. The Barbados Labour Party has brought to you a slate of candidates that you can be proud of. We have presented a manifesto. We have presented and formulated a number of programs that you can follow. The Barbados Labour Party is a serious political institution. Serious because we have a history that we do not fool people. And tonight, we stand here and say to you that we stand by our program. We stand behind our leader, Mayor Motley, and we believe that you too will stand with her, so that by May the 25th, next week, God willing, we should have a new Prime Minister in Mayor Motley. I also want to say to you today that we recognize over the past 10 years of Democratic Labour Party rule that we have not had any proper management of this economy. In the past 10 years or so, the Democratic Labour Party has run this country as though it is their own. They have not formulated any program that you can say was successful, both in terms of physical structure, economy, and even the social aspect of Barbadian life has been failed miserably by the Democratic Labour Party. The Democratic Labour Party in the past 10 years has done very little that we can be proud of in this country. And who do they blame? They blame everybody other than themselves. And we have to ask many questions in this election. You at Weston must ask yourselves questions. And you must ask your representatives, those persons who represent the various political parties, question what they stand for, what it is that they will do, what it is that they will give, what hope they will give to the people of St. James North. You have to ask yourself these questions. And having asked yourself these questions, you will come up with one solution. At the end of the day, it's only the Barbados Labour Party that really is meaningful to the people of this country. And let's look at the record of the Democratic Labour Party tonight. I want to say to you, firstly, that the Barbados Labour Party, while in office, put forth a number of initiatives aimed at developing this country. I want to recall that in 1994, when we became the government under Owen Arthur, we found an economy that was reeling under poverty. We found an economy that was shrinking. We found a country that had more than 22% unemployment. People were not working. And those who were working found it difficult. There were a lot of difficulties in terms of persons couldn't get the ends meet. You were working, but you were working poor. We found a situation in 1994 where a number of persons who went home had to pay their own severance. The government of the day abandoned a lot of buildings, structures that they had started that could not get finished. And this country cried out for management. So much so that the government, the DLP government, fought among themselves. And the very first successful no confidence motion in 1994 June was brought against the Democratic Labour Party, and they fell. They fought among themselves. And we took up the reign of government based on a background of failure. And we brought this country through 1999 successful years of Barbados Labour Party's rule. And you were able to give us a second term, 2003. Successful term as well. And then a third term was given to the Barbados Labour Party in 2003, and we went to 2008. And you recall that those 15 years of Barbados Labour Party rule saw successes upon successes. We had a government that moved unemployment from 22% unemployment to 6%. Now that took a lot of initiatives, a lot of work was done. And people were not idling, people were working. And not only this, we were able to give people wage increases. Pensioners got better rates, better pension. And we gave civil servants a better deal in this country. We were able to pass a new Civil Service Act in 2007, which helped to usher in a new day for civil servants. That is, those persons who were working for 3 years or more had to be appointed. That's what we were saying. In those days, we were not laying off people. We were hiring people. The Barbados Labour Party does not believe that we should lay off people willy-nilly. We do not subscribe to that view. We do not subscribe to the view that the lay off Democratic Labour Party supporters and then take ours. We do not subscribe to that view. And we will never subscribe to that view. So that we did not lay off people between 1994 and 2008. People were working, they were saving, and they were buying property and investment in this country. Things were doing well. And we introduced a VAT, a 15% VAT in 1998. That to remove a number of taxes from this landscape. The VAT removed about 11 pieces of indirect taxes from this landscape. And we saw that the VAT initiative helped not only government but also Barbadians because they were able to save more. And we thought then that the 15% VAT that was introduced would have done tremendously well for our country. It was doing very well for our country. Persons in this country were able to claim deductions on your income tax for mortgage interest. You were able to claim for repairs in your home and sometimes for medical insurance, medical bills and so on. This is what we did. And things were looking up. As I said before, things were not perfect, but this country was being managed in an effective, efficient manner under the Barbados Labour Party. Not only this, we had reserves of over $2.7 billion in foreign reserves. We had reserves. People were not unhappy in terms of going to the bank and finding that there was no foreign exchange. So you had money in the banking system. People thought that things were going okay, and you decided, okay, the Barbados Labour Party had enough in government. 15 years is enough. Okay, I mean by this decision of the people. At the end of the day, it is you, the people, that matters. The people matter. And therefore, we accepted the decision of the people. We went into the opposition, but left a strong economy. And that's the point. We left a strong economy for the Democratic Labour Party. And that is what you must remember. Strong economy. 6% unemployment. Record level of foreign reserves. And we had housing. We were looking at roads, we were building roads. And we were buying buses and garbage trucks. As Minister of Public Works, I can tell you up to 2008, we had committed this country to buy more than 15 buses every year. We were buying buses. In fact, in 1 year we bought 50 buses. And the program was put in place so that future government would not run the transport board into the ground. We did all of that for the people of Barbados. So that the Democratic Labour Party came into office, and from the time they came into office, they started to lick out the money. That's what they did. Started to lick out the money that they found. They sent home Barbados, their party supporters in droves. Sent home people who were working, poor people who were working for an honest dollar. And they sent home many of our supporters and many of persons who did not support us, but who were working, because we never asked persons in our time if you belong to a political party, but people were sent home in droves. Then the economy started to fail. This government imposed taxes on road taxes more than 60%. They imposed taxes and rates more than 60% because in 2008, 2009, in the very first budget of Thompson, he raised almost everything by 60%. Water rates, bicycle taxes, all types of taxes went up. In that first year, he sought to raise over $108 million on Barbadians' back. $108 million. He sought to raise the taxes, stop the 50% tax. Not only this government then raised the tax VAT from 15% to 17.5%. So they were intent of killing us because we had a stable economy. And he believed, the present administration, Minister of Finance believed, that if you increase taxes, you will get more money. We have said over and over in opposition that higher the taxes, it does not mean you will receive more, because people will pay less. And not only this, not only did he increase the taxes on Barbados' back, but he decided, the present administration provided no relief for people, so that you got very little on your income tax returns. You could not claim anything. And this country started to reel under pressure. It reeled under pressure to a point where we saw persons started to withdraw investments. And investment is the cure to most economies. You have to invest. Without investment, you cannot provide employment. Without investment, there will be no growth. And over the past 10 years or so, we have seen a Democratic Party who said they were not going to send home people, started to send home people in droves. They send home people from NCC, from Public Works, from the hospital, from all the statutory boards started to cut, even though the Prime Minister said in the day that they would not send home people. Secondly, not only did they send home people, but they could not give a wage increase. You realize for the first time in this history of Barbados, for the very first time, persons, civil servants, didn't get an increase in wages and salaries for 8 years. See what happened? For the first time ever, policemen got increases in salaries before every 2 years. Nurses, persons working as teachers got their salary increase every 2 years. And back pay was also paid. This is what happened. Traditionally, for the very first time, that a government could not give increase after raising taxes by more than 60% in some cases. And not only this Democratic Labour Party took it upon themselves also to introduce another tax, not only stabilization tax, because all they know is taxes, as I said before. So you cannot grow an economy by making people pay through their noses. And this is what happened. The NSRL is another tax that was introduced in this country to cut back on growth, because these taxes did not do any good for the country. These taxes dampen the growth that we recognize could have had. These are things that could have happened. But this present administration decided that this is the path that they will follow. And what do we see? We see that instead of growth, we found that many of the rating agencies started to downgrade Barbados for the very first time. And they received 1 downgrade, 2 downgrades, and it went from 2 to 22. Every year you have downgrades. Every 6 months, this country was downgrading to a point where our interest on loans are now double. That we are paying back any loans that we got from foreign agencies, from foreign, had to be paid, and the interest rates were double. This is what this government has done to the people of Barbados. So that we are at a crossroads, having got no increase in salaries, having withdrawn any allowances that were given to the policemen and nurses who had to work long hours, because we recognize that policemen and nurses had to work long hours, and under our administration up to 2008, you were given a flexi allowance if you had to work long hours, because we know the nature of the work of a police, the nature of the work of nurses, and so on. So that anytime you work long, you were given that allowance in lieu of the work you did. And this government discontinued all these practices that we were doing, so that the people of Barbados suffered under the Democratic Labour Party. And they blame everybody other than themselves. They blame international countries, the Caribbean countries. And you know what? The Caribbean countries that they are blaming have done well better. The countries in the Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean, Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, all had growth and are doing much better than Barbados. So this country went through tremendous difficulties under the Democratic Labour Party. So the election is called tonight, and you have to judge yourself against this background. Against the background now, what it is that this government is asking you to judge them on. That's where we are. What it is. They have failed for 10 years, and now they are asking you to judge them or for what? A fumbling prime minister who is dreaming at the wheel, fumbling prime minister, a minister of finance who has failed over and over again. The social services are at a low end. You have a situation in this country where everything is now at a standstill. But now the Democratic Labour Party is saying to you, vote for them. Vote for us. What future do you have? Now, we have to examine, as I said before, this whole thing about why you cannot vote for the Democratic Labour Party in this election. Why any sensible person cannot vote for the Democratic Labour Party. Because vote for the Democratic Labour Party is not a vote for your future. A vote for the Democratic Labour Party is not a vote for the future of your children. You have no hope on the Democratic Labour Party. There's no hope on the Democratic Labour Party. And I say so tonight without fear of contradiction, because they cannot point to any successes. But now they come to you, asking you for your support. They come to you, saying to you, vote for them. When they come to you, ask them why. Can you imagine that they send home more than 4,000 to 5,000 people in this country, but they will now go back to the same people who they sent home and ask for a vote? They have no shame. They have no shame. Send home people, but then go back and ask those same people to vote for them. And not only this, they send home people who are working for a long time, who had years, and brought in some of their supporters into jobs. Now this is grossly unfair. It's grossly unfair. And the unions did very little, because we know that the union could have stood up more for the workers of this country. They have weakened the unions. But all things come to those people who wait. All good things come to those people who wait. And the Democratic Labour Party was scared to call election. They were scared. This is the first Prime Minister that went over the 10-year period, you know. He went over the period and called election only at the last, because they know that they have done wrong. They know they have done wrong. And therefore, having done wrong, they delayed the election, but they had to call it. They had to call it. And they called it only at the last minute because they had no other choice. So therefore, you are asked to vote in this election, and we want to find out what is it that you will vote for. You have to vote for a good representation. You have to vote for a person like Edmund Hickson in this constituency who has worked on your behalf. And that is no idle boast. He has worked hard on your behalf. You have to vote for a lady, Mayor Motley, who has produced not only fine speeches, but fine ideas and work hard for the people of this country. And I was there. We were able to put forward programs in this constituency and across Barbados based on 2 or 3 years, or more than 2 or 3 years of hard, dedicated work through programs such as rubbing shoulders. I remember I came down here to the fish market here, looking at what program we can implement for the fisher folk at Weston. We were able to go to the fisher folk in Bridgetown. We were able to go to the agricultural workers across Barbados in my constituency, St. George, across Christchurch and St. Michael, across St. Philip and St. John, all across Barbados, in order to find initiatives for the people of this country and to put forward a meaningful program. This is what we were doing. We did not only meet with farmers and fishermen and fisher folks, manufacturing, but we met with people from all walks of life, in industry and banking, investment and so on. We met with people in order for them to discuss with us what it is. Having done so, we put forward a manifesto program for you. And I'm sure most of you have within your possession a document that you can be proud of. We put forward a document that is based on reality, a document that is based on sound policies that have been trusted and tested. I am saying to you tonight that in this election, you have to look at the programs that the party will bring. So what is this? Why I'm saying this? Because you cannot trust the Democratic Labour Party. You cannot trust the Dems. And why? Because they told you that they will not send home workers, and they did. They told you that they will provide good governance, and they didn't. They told you that they will stop corruption, and they made this country the most corrupt country within the Caribbean. That's what they did. So that you cannot trust them. You remember they came on the television last election and said to you that they will not privatize the transport board. They will not privatize. That old people, if we were in power, that we would charge old people bus fare and all sort of foolishness. But what has happened? Do you realize that over the past 8-10 years, this Democratic Party has not bought a single bus? Not a single bus they have bought. And what it is more, they have given contracts, they have given licenses or permits, yes, to a number of private sector owners who now ply the routes all across here. There are more than 200 buses and minibuses and ZRs on the road, virtually starving the transport board, and that's what this government decided to do. So that they did not literally privatize the transport board, but in fact, one can say they actually privatized it, because you have more buses, more minibus, private sector owned on the road tonight than you have transport boards. 50 buses are on the road. When I left Public Works in 2008, January 2008, any one day we had over 200 buses on the road, traveling across this country. But we only have less than 50 buses on the road at any one time now. So that this government is virtually dependent on the private sector to carry people from work to home, to play and whatever. And they say to you that they will not privatize. They will do these things. What about garbage collection? Again, have not buy a single garbage truck. Have not. So a garbage is piled up in any district, anytime across Barbados, sometimes more than 3 or 4 weeks, sometimes a month. And the private sector now have to get involved. So garbage collection is a problem. Transportation is a problem. You have problems, and not only this, they cannot employ a single soul. The government of the day have stopped hiring civil servants, have not got an increase. What it is they're asking you to vote for. What it is. I do not understand. The government comes to you and cannot put forward a sensible argument why you should vote for them. They cannot. And based on the facts that we have presented here tonight, based on the facts, any sensible person examining why you should vote, because people must examine these things. We are educated people. I want to remind you, we are educated people. All of us went to primary school, secondary school, and most of us have gone to university. And I'm not going to talk about education tonight, because Eddie will tell you more about that. He shadows that education. He shadows that ministry up to the end of Parliament. And he has been following it and doing a good job. But we know that the future cannot hold on the Democratic Labour Party, because you know that your children deserve better. I went to university and didn't have to pay. I didn't have to pay. Most of the parliamentarians went to university and didn't have to pay. We only pay a small sum based on for the discretionary usage. We didn't have to pay. And the very first time in so many years that our people are now asked to pay university fees. I will deal with this. It's unfair to the people of this country. It's grossly unfair, because poor people have to literally go and beg a minister for a grant. It's a serious thing, you know. Some of you do not understand what I'm saying, but when you go and line up and beg, sign up, say how much money you work for, your father worked for, how much money your grandmother had, grandfather, great-grandparents, you have to go and put all this thing on a paper, and then the minister will pick out who he wants and give you a $2,000 or $3,000 that can't work. We are sort of senses charging you $8,000 or $9,000 a year. Some people cannot pay. Lots of people drop out. Why? Because they cannot pay. Not that they're bad, not that they're doing it at school, they cannot pay. There needs to be some sort of control. But this government is wicked. This government is wicked. Wait, really, until people can't pay. Wait, as many younger persons shouldn't have to drop out. That's a fact. And don't mind, people will come, the apologists of the Democratic Party will come and tell you that what it is that they can do. What better can they do? When Harry husband comes to you, ask him, well, he sat down and did nothing. He sat down and refused to say to the government, people will be wrong. He said nothing. He allowed them. He sat down mute, did not say a single word. Sat down with his tongue in his mouth. Didn't say a word when that program came to the parliament. I am saying to you that these things are wrong. So what it is that the government asks you to vote for, I don't understand. And that's why the people are treating them like they deserve. The people of this country are treating the Democratic Labour Party like they deserve. Don't go to them, shut down your house. That's why people are saying to them, leave my home. I mean, you ain't getting the pension increases, no salary increases. They're saying, home my children. Got the country in all types of chaos. No investment about the place. You can't the hope that they give can't give any hope. And they brought out the manifesto too. This should not be brought out the manifesto. The Democratic Party should not put the manifesto on the people. Because you know, according to the Democratic Party, a manifesto is only a manifesto. It's not sacred. That's what they say to you, you know. That is not sacred. So what they put in there is just wasting paper, because they don't believe in it either. They don't believe in it. And they say to you, they want your vote. Why are you going to vote? I hope they don't get any vote from St. James North. I would like to see that we get all the seats, to tell you the truth, because they don't deserve a single seat. And even the strongest supporters, you go to St. Lucie and you see what's happening. People are walking away from the dance in St. Lucie, the strongest supporters. They're walking away from it in St. John. They're walking away from them in my constituency. You see, they came up to, many of their public meetings are now attracting only 5 and 7 people, no more than 10. And most of them are including that policemen, 74 policemen and 3 people. So they have nobody to listen to them. And when they present their manifesto, I believe they're going to bring in all events all over the country. And they understand that they're going to bring people from overseas to vote. And these are things we're going to watch. You're going to watch them. Because we know they set out the thief. That's the first thing. They set out the thief. And I will be saying this all the time, because that's what the Dems will do. And we have to be very vigilant. That's why we have to be careful of your list. That electoral list is very, very important. And that's why you have to encourage not only yourself, but your children, encourage your friends, encourage everybody to come out and vote. Encourage them to come out and vote. People say let's stop home because sometimes people say, look, Eddie gonna win. You can't win until you come out and vote. You must come out and vote. The Barbers, their party will not win until people come out and vote. And I want to say this to you, that them under Fondel's throat, you do not, because that's a fact. They cannot say that they didn't do anything because they have done nothing. We are prepared to put forward a program, and we have put forward a program to say to the people of this constituency, to say to the people of Barbados, that we will give you hope. And some of the things that we have put forward to you, they are workable. We have told you that we will cut the NSRL. And of course, speakers coming here, Ryan Strong, we come here next to explain to you the benefit and of course the disadvantage of taxing people so heavy. He will explain to you. But we have put forward that we will abolish that. We have also put forward that we will help pensioners at the lowest end. We are not saying that we will do it overnight, because these things cannot be done overnight. We told you in our manifesto that we will put forward hope, and we have critical areas that must be addressed. Garbage collection must be addressed. The sewage and the South Coast must be addressed. Can the government sit down for 3 years and see filth actually flowing in the street and did nothing? Look what's happening to Barbados. This is what happened to Barbados. Any sensible government must address that. We have to address that. So the garbage must be addressed. The sewage issue must be addressed front on. We cannot wait to see tourists leave Barbados. We are going into a strong crop over season, but these, you cannot have sewage flowing all in our streets. Very soon it will happen in the West Coast. But when it happens in the West Coast, it will happen. The dog dead. So we have to be able to fight these and do it fast, quickly. We must put an end to this. And when we talk about the about the sewage, we have to ask the Minister of Waterworks, the Minister of Garbage, the Minister of Sewage, Minister of Health. How can they account? How can they account for digging 4 wells that cost $8 million? 4 wells costing $8 million. That's $2 million a piece. $2 million a piece, you know. And when we check, each of those wells, we know they're 200 feet, could have cost just over $200,000 each. $200,000 multiplied by 4 is $800,000. So we want to find out where it is. How comes you're charging us so much? Where the money going? Who getting all this? This profit upon profit. This is the thing about this government. There's no accountability to the people. We could not do it when we were in government. Everything we did had to be costed, had to be justified. Not this government. This Prime Minister sits down and allows ministers and government to do anything. He sits down and says nothing. Huh? And when we talk about these things, people must listen. Why is it that we cannot balance our current account in this country? It's because this government is spending more than it earns. And all of them want to build a building. All ministers want to build a building. Look at it. You're going up at, some of you do not know where Andrew's factory is, but that is in St. Joseph, very near to where he lives. And they want to build a new sugar factory for $500 million US to produce 6,000 tons of sugar. Can you imagine that? A new sugar factory costing $500 million, but only can produce 6,000 tons of sugar. I mean, where are we? Where are we? And the people sat down and did nothing. Not only this, they've gone at the bell. They've gone up at the bell and plant 20 acres of river tarman. What is river tarman? Y'all know what river tarman is? River tarman is wild grass. Any government that plant 20 acres of river tarman should be flogged. All of them. Because river tarman grow on the side of the road. It's not a cash crop. It's not a crop like cassava, yams, or potatoes. It's wild grass. And a government planting 20 acres of retirement is a wild government. And the people said nothing. You know what they said? We wanted, this is for the new factory. The factory has not got all the ground up to know yet, but the plant retirement. And then Esther to come and curse as much as he like, get on like a black dog. Get on like a black sheep. On the platform, but can't tell you about the wells, can't tell where you plant river tamarind. If he comes here to Weston, ask him about the river tamarind you plant. Ask him about the new sugar factory. Where is it that people can't get water in certain areas in the country? Ask him that. And you must ask these questions to these people when they come here. But we are offering you hope. We are offering the people of Weston hope. We are offering you a team of people who can justify our program. We can justify our social program as well as our economic program. And I have only pointed out to you a few things that we will be doing. Over the next couple of days, I'm sure from this meeting point tonight, many of our speakers will point out to you what it is in the social affairs, what will make us different from the Democratic Party. What it is that we will do to ensure that life is better for you, not only providing wages and salary, but also providing good governance. This is what we want to do. The people of Barbados want a government that they can be sure. That a government based on what we plan and what we pledge. We're going to hold our government to the feet. We need to bring confidentiality. We need to bring confidence back in government of this country. We do not have any confidence in the present administration. We really don't. Nobody does. Nobody does. And this is what is lacking in this country. Confidence. People want to invest, yes. But why are we going to invest in a country that filth is flowing on the street? Why is it we're going to invest in a government that every time you talk about investment, somebody had to put out their hand? Every time you talk about investment, somebody put out their hand. Investors are tired of this sort of thing. This sort of corruption is really belongs to Latin America And Latin America is trying to get out of this already. No. This corruption that we have seen in this country must be a thing of the past. And I'm saying that somebody must be held accountable for all this bad thing that this government has done in the past 8-10 years. Somebody must be held accountable. So I want to complete tonight to tell you that this constituency must continue to support Edmund Hickson. You must continue to support a man who has worked on your behalf. And of course, we believe that Mayor Motley will make a good Prime Minister. Do not mind the curse her. And you see what she does? She ignores the thing. You hear the comment? She ignores them. And it's best to keep silent because silence is golden. And whenever they do something, they always prove wrong. Whenever they always prove wrong. Because they're in for sport. They're in for sport. They want to make money. But we believe in service. The Barbadian party has always, and I want to say this now because I was a member of this party since the 70s under the great Tom Adams, going after. And now Mayor Motley, we believe that we can make the difference. And we will make the difference in this country. We will bring this country back together. We will bring this country back as you never saw before. You just give us the chance to show you that all is not lost. We are not saying it's going to happen overnight, but you can be sure that we will go to work every day of our life to fight on your behalf, to work on your behalf, and to work so that you can see future. I want to say to you that under the Democratic Party, you have no future for your children. There's nothing you can pass on to them but debt. Many people don't have savings. Some of them people cannot pay their mortgages. Things are rough, and really rough in this country. We offer you hope tonight. We offer you a program that will get going. It cannot get going immediately because we have critical issues that have to be dealt with, and we have long-term programs that must be dealt with. All right? Because we've got to put this country back to work. And therefore, I say to you tonight in Weston that you must bring out your vote on May 24th. Come and support the Barbadian Party and encourage your family, not only here in St. James, but also across Barbados. I want to thank you tonight and God bless you.